because in Africa, reading is like a cancer and no one is coming out. You find that people are talking about ICT, they are putting billions in ICT. People are talking about this and that, but no one is coming out to say, now this is a challenge, how are you going to address it? Welcome, our dear viewers, parents, teachers and educators on Teachers TV Africa. And today we are going to be discussing about reading or literacy. If you look at reading, reading is the mother of all subjects, and it is the main reason why a couple of learners repeat classes. And it's also one of the main reasons why so many children drop out of school. According to the World Bank report, say that 7 out of 10 children can't read by the age of 10.
And
which is a very, and others don't understand what they read. And if you look at the way how we are teaching reading in Africa, most of us, we are using imported strategies. So many educators in various African countries have not taken time to find out how can we use or how can we contextualize approaches that can work for our children in their respective areas. Why? Because English is not our first language. And with that, we would like to discuss with one of the educators, because for us at 10 we do the reading, she also does the reading. And how can we synergize, or what should parents understand from this program? And it also goes back to the schools, school directors, school and the teachers and the head teachers. In most cases, they invest a lot of money in seeing that they have reading specialists in their schools. But should it be that a school should only have one reading specialist, or all teachers should be teachers of reading? Kindly, our dear parents, teachers and educators, don't go away. And if you're new here, like and subscribe to Teachers TV Africa, and also share your comments. And with us today, we have a special teacher. Kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you, Teacher Peter. I'm so happy to be here at Teachers TV Africa. My name is Katila from Crane's Learning Hub in Kampala, Uganda, where we do learning materials, training and teaching to help teachers transform education for the 21st century.
Wow. Now, tell us more about yourself now. What inspired you to start or be a teacher or become a teacher of reading?
Well, what inspired me to become a teacher of reading, Teacher Peter, was I was in a school teaching in an international school, and I had to teach all the subjects.
Okay.
Yes, I hadn't taught reading before, but I was trained. I was given all the materials I needed, so I was able to help children learn to read independently using phonics.
Wow. And well, with that, you were given all the material you needed to become a teacher of
reading.
A teacher of reading.
Yes.
And does it mean that in those schools, like a teacher has to teach all subjects? Because you find in some schools, a teacher only focuses on their subject.
Well, in early childhood, a teacher should be competent in all subjects.
Okay.
Yes, he should be competent in all subjects, because if you choose only reading, then who is going to teach math? And if a child is struggling with math, then who is going to teach? If you don't know how to teach math or science, then who is going to teach the other? Because usually you're a homeroom teacher, so you should know about everything the child is learning.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, according to you, like currently here at Teachers in Need, we have an approach, it's called the RICA. And for it, we basically support teachers from baby class up to P7, learn how to incorporate reading. And we have seen it working. Over 7 years or 10 years. It was also recommended by the Ministry of Education. That was in 2019. Now, we have a challenge that we believe it might not be the only approach. There are so many other approaches, and that's the reason why you're here. Yeah? How best is the Crane approach, or letters and sound? How best is the letter and sound approach supporting teachers learn how to read?
Well, the approach I'm using, I'm calling it a roadmap to reading, guiding the teachers from step by step, from step 1. And in this approach, we focus on making sure that a teacher has what they need. Because if a teacher just knows what to do, but they don't have the right materials to use to teach a child, it becomes very hard for a child to learn to read. Okay. I come from a Montessori background, and a Montessori background, the environment is a third teacher. So my passion is to make sure that the teacher is there, but the environment is also teaching, hence the desire to make as many materials for the teacher as much as possible to empower all children and enable them to be able to learn to read.
Thank you very much. Now, yes, if we talk about Montessori, if we talk about so many things, most people have this assumption that those things are for only international schools. But let me also break it down. If you look at what we call the play-based learning,
Yes.
that is basically what also Montessori
Yes.
uses. So as long as you can make your learning as a teacher who is watching us or at school, you make it just play-based.
Yes.
I believe you would be. And then people have this, that international school, I'm an international teacher, I'm from an international school, which is very common. And when a person hears that, say, hey, you are teaching international things. You can be a local teacher from a local school,
Yes.
but use the international approach
Yes.
by making your learning more of learner-centered.
Learner-centered,
And I
yes.
believe isn't that one thing that international schools focus on, whereby they enable learners to own the learning.
Yes, they enable learners to own the learning and also make sure that children are developing critical thinking and problem-solving skills.
The 21st century skills.
Yes, the 21st century skills. So the teaching method must enable the child to develop those skills, not just copy and learn and, you know,
just
look at
following what the teacher says.
No,
mimicking or parroting, like when the
Yes.
teacher says this, we say this.
Yeah.
Now this is
So the child has to develop that confidence that they believe their ideas also matter.
amazing.
Yes, because that is the foundation of, you know, changing the world around us.
Amazing. Now,
Yeah.
according to you, today so many people, the truth is we are struggling with the issue of reading. Teachers are struggling, parents are struggling, schools are struggling, the learners are struggling, and no one is talking about it.
Yeah.
Everyone is keeping silent, like everyone is silent.
Yes.
Yes. I would like to find out, based on your experience, do you see schools, like school directors and administration, being receptive and also understanding that there's a challenge? Because why am I asking this? For us, we have tried to do that majorly. One of our initial goal was, if we would like to transform schools in the area of reading, instead of coming to one school, we had an approach of saying, let us come to a community and invite people in that community, maybe in one school, and then train them from there 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. But schools are not receptive. So each school, the one which is receptive, others are not receptive. So do you see schools seeing it as a challenge that can be addressed collectively, or it should be addressed school by school?
Well, it's quite a challenge, but given that most schools are private schools and they are, you know, it's a business for someone, and also because they are trying to protect their names and protecting the school culture. So someone can confide in you that we need a reading program, our children are struggling, but then they wouldn't want it to come out that they really need a reading program. So they try to hide it. That's why you call for a meeting like that, and some people may not come because they don't want to appear like they don't have it sorted.
But it's a challenge.
Yes, it is.
And it's not our own making. It's a challenge beyond us, because we are learning a language which is not ours. So why would people have that worry that if people hear that maybe our teachers are training this, they might say that they are incompetent?
Yes, that's the problem. So because they think they're really trying to just protect their names and they want to feel like they have it all. But I think people need to, you know, relax and humble themselves and get the right skills to be able to teach children. If we can just change our perspective a little bit around that, seeking knowledge is not a humiliation. Actually, it's better to add to your knowledge every once in a while. So when I'm reading, for example, when I started teaching children, I read a lot of things. If I find someone talking about a subject that I'm interested in at the moment, I will read about it. I will listen to a YouTube video. I have so many books. I will read as much as I can. But that doesn't mean I don't know, but improving myself. Learning never stops.
Indeed.
Yes, so especially it brings us back to like the Montessori approach or the play-based approach, where you're empowering the child and you're helping them to become lifelong learners. Because we are always learning. And also when you teach children to read properly and they are winning at every level, that means they will love to study forever, they will love to read, they will love to advance themselves as far as knowledge is concerned. But if they struggle in reading at an early age, they will not love to read. They'll hate books, they'll hate content, anything that has print, because it humiliates them. It makes them feel bad because they don't know how to read.
And there is also a saying that I always believe in, that tomorrow's leaders are simply today's readers.
Yes.
Yes, tomorrow's leaders
are
simply today's readers.
Yes.
The more you read is the more you learn.
Yes.
Now with that, thank you very much. Again, it goes back to the parents. Now this is a question that at least would also help us to support parents. Should the parents be involved in the reading and learning process, or it's only the role of the school or the duty of the school? Parents have nothing whatsoever apart from paying school fees.
Well, parents must be involved. However, in most of our local schools, most schools do not want parents to be involved.
Why?
They keep them out of, because I think they are trying, either they're not confident with their system and everything, because they feel like the parents will see the loopholes they have. So they try to keep them away. Yeah, they try to keep them away, and they tell them that, we are fine, the school will do everything, you don't have to do anything. But it's important for parents to follow along the learning of their children. And I would also advise schools to always set up activities that you would like parents to do with their children to encourage learning or to extend learning at home. Because most of the things they learn at school, they can be extended in the environment. For example, you're teaching them sounds. Ask the parents to look out for the sounds in the words, in the signposts, so that as they are moving on the bottle tops, on the boxes of things, so that will help to extend the learning of the children. And there the school and the parents are collaborating for the children to master what they're learning at school.
Yes, I believe the first teacher should also be a parent, and all the schools should come out to emphasize that for teaching to become complete, parents play a pivotal role. Apart from paying school fees, they should be engaged. That's why if we are to kick illiteracy out of Africa, or reading, if we are to promote reading in Africa, we should learn how to engage our parents by having sessions where we call them and also tell them how should reading be conducted. What is their role? What should the parent know? How should they implement it? Because it becomes easier when a school plays their part at school, and also the parent plays their part at home.
Yeah.
So parents, you should also be involved, and also all schools that have the fear. Stop fearing, because at the end of the day, the more we work together, is the more we produce an informed generation. Our second last question goes to the teachers. According to you, do you see our teachers having enough information
Our
when
teachers
it comes
do
to
not.
reading?
No, they don't have enough information. Not only reading. If you go to many schools, do you find a well-stocked library for teachers?
It's very hard.
Yeah, there's no library for teachers. You find a staff room which is empty. There's nothing. All they have is the textbook to use to teach. That's it. And yet, it would be very helpful for a teacher to be knowledgeable about the subjects they are teaching, and also be knowledgeable about how is it applicable in the world, not just in the classroom, not just in your space, but also in the world. Because at the end of the day, it's a global village. We are everywhere. The child will move from here and go somewhere else. So the teacher should be knowledgeable about what's happening, and not just, alienate any other thing that is not from the textbook that they are holding at that moment. And there are topics that, are universal. Like reading is universal. Wherever you go, the sound, letter S will make the sounds, wherever you go. So reading about it, how it's happening in different countries, how other people are teaching it everywhere, would just be helpful and make the teacher more knowledgeable and more ready or more equipped to empower the learners for the 21st century.
Now this is my advice, at least to all the teachers all over the world. But at least let me start with the teachers in Africa, whereby we find that we all have a challenge with reading. Personally, I repeated classes very simply because I couldn't read. And all my teachers didn't have any solution. And in most cases, what they could do was to give me a lot of work. A lot of work. You get the point?
Yeah.
Yes, repetitive, and questions, this are caning you, making you repeat classes, and at the end of the day, that's the reason why so many people drop out of school. But it's a request that if every teacher could take it as their responsibility to become a teacher of reading, from baby class to P7, so that they can learn how to incorporate reading in their respective subjects. They might not read it, they might not teach it as an independent subject, but you can easily incorporate it in your respective subject.
Yeah.
If we could do that, at least it would help us a big deal all over Africa, because in Africa, reading is like a cancer and no one is coming out. You find that people are talking about ICT, they are putting billions in ICT. People are talking about this and that, but no one is coming out to say, now this is a challenge, how are you going to address it? Which people should we work with? Because they are using other people who are trying to overcome the challenge. They are using maybe strategies and approaches got from Europe or USA. Yes, getting strategies from Europe and USA is good, but how can we see that we people in Africa, having our own dialects, how can we incorporate, how can we contextualize our reading strategies so that they can fit within our syllables, they can fit within our local languages, they can fit up within our normal local setting. Why? Because English is not our first language, and to a couple of learners, it's not even their second language, it's like a third language. So now, a white teaching me something which is not my first language, yet to them, they are teaching it to a person whom they believe knows English. It's a big challenge. So our humble request would be to all schools, every stakeholder, the government, to take it as a responsibility, to see that we come up with a lot of campaigns from training colleges, schools, television, parents, support people like Teacher Gertrude, Teacher Peter, and other people who are doing this to at least make it like an anthem in every school.
But also, Teacher Peter, you see, one of the problems is that we don't have enough content to support teaching reading in schools. Yes, I may know how many sounds to teach a child or to teach children, but then how are they going to practice to master the sounds that they're reading? So we don't have that much content, and some of the content available is from abroad, and sometimes it is not culture sensitive, and also it is not available for us because it's quite expensive to access. So you find many schools, they're trying to teach the sounds, teach the reading, but there's no practice for the children to be able to master that the sounds being taught.
I also agree. We have content anyway.
We are building. That's what we are all doing. Yes.
The only challenge is the content is there. For all content to gain visibility, people have to give it a platform.
Yes.
So you have content, we have content, and other people have content. Like today people know one approach, but if you go again to UK, there are also other approaches beyond that. People have content, but the only challenge is also people or schools are not opening up their doors to learn new things. To learn new things that are contextualized. Now, when it comes to content, currently for us, we have the RICA approach. It has a lot of things that even the whites don't know about reading. It has, we are the ones who came up with what they call, consistent sounds. One time I was teaching, we were training whites, and I asked them what a consistent sound. They didn't know. They didn't know, but these are whites, and these are the teachers of reading. Person said, no, I've never heard of that. Then after explaining to them what a consistent sound, what an inconsistent sound, and giving them examples, they wow. Are you getting it? But it was a black person doing that. So what does it mean? We have the content, you have the content, we all have the content, but we need the platforms to try the content, to test the content, and whereby our own people should also embrace the content. Are you getting it? We shouldn't just convince them, but they should embrace it and say, because if you assume, like here we conduct a lot of trainings, again in reading and other areas, if we put a training here, and they say we are training, they are black people, Ugandans, what will those that go for training? What will they train? Now, you put the same training and you bring a P3 child from Europe, they are the ones training, and tell them it's a white training, but it's a child from P3 class in Europe, they'll come because of color. So we have not yet started, or we have not yet got a spirit of appreciating our own people and what are the solutions being brought out by our own people. Now, our final question.
And also maybe be open-minded.
Being open-minded.
Yes, be open-minded. Don't be like, oh, this one is like this. I was in a WhatsApp group one time, and someone was asking how words are pronounced. And then another one said, if someone does not have a master's degree in education, they cannot teach me anything.
Really?
Yes. So I responded to this person and I'm like, the person, I've seen many trainers, people teaching me a lot of things when they have a diploma or a certificate.
Not others don't even have anything.
Others don't even have anything, but they've taken time to read and understand something, so they're able to teach it to me, you know. So we need to, like, you know, be flexible and adjust our attitudes. And this was a teacher, and that was not right to hear from a teacher, but we had it. That means there are many teachers who think like that. That's why they keep blocking knowledge and understanding. But also knowing that teaching is both a science and an art. You know, yes, you will teach everything and then stuff, but then you also have to understand where everything is coming from. Yes, you understand the context, the background. Why do we teach like this? Why should we start like this and not start like that? Why do we bring this here and not here? So you just have to know, get the science of it and the art of it, and then we go ahead and teach reading in Africa.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Now, one of the things that at least we can't, that won't skip the discussion is, since we're talking about the teachers, firstly tell us, who is that teacher whom you never forget in your life?
Like a teacher who, the one who taught me, or someone I've worked with?
The one who taught you, someone you have worked with, but majorly the one who taught you.
The one who taught me.
Why do we ask that question? In order to inspire someone out there, in order to emulate that and be that teacher.
Okay, so I had a teacher in primary. She was called Nalumansi Helen. I'm also Nalumansi, but she was called Nalumansi Helen. She was my English teacher, and I do not know what methods she used, but I was able to get a distinction in English, and I used to love her lessons. But when I met her again, she wasn't teaching anymore. She was actually in business in town, but I was really proud of her.
What made you proud of her? Because of the distinction?
No, the teaching method and how she made me feel in the classroom.
Wow. Yeah, how did she make you feel?
Important, valued in the classroom.
You as a person with the entire class, she could do that?
She could do that generally because it made me feel like that, and I really appreciated her. Because, you know, children come and they tell you how some teachers are really rude in the class, and they make them feel so small, and teachers don't know, or they forget that the way you make children feel is the energy you're going to get back from them in the things that you want them to do. Yes, so if you make them feel good, they will do good. They'll do their best in everything. But if you come and pour down all this negative and everything and be rude to them, it will not work out. But for me, I'm proud of that teacher. She was really, she would not, you know, be rude and all that. She just encouraged us to do our best.
Okay. Now then, finally, last year we organized Outstanding Teachers Award. I believe you heard about them.
Yes.
And even this year we are organizing those awards. This year we are going to give out 12 laptops.
Oh wow.
And a trip for 3 days.
Yay.
Up to 12 teachers. According to you, if you're seeing those 12 teachers, the winners, what are those special things or qualities where you say, no, this teacher, if any teacher wins, when they have these qualities, let them take the award? What are those things?
I think teachers who are creative, creative with their curriculum, creative with handling children and supporting them to be complete, not just academics, but in all areas. Teachers who take time to inspire children to do their best. And, you know, they should have like examples of those things that they've done in the classroom. And then teachers who also get out of their, not just the school, but they care about the well-being of the whole child and involve collaboration with all stakeholders for the teaching of the children. I think that would be really good. And they're innovative. They're innovative in their classroom. They're doing different things to make sure that they're meeting all the different learning needs for the children in the classroom.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, if you are that person who matters, what is your dream for education? How would you like education to look like? In Africa, anyway, in general. Yes, how would you like education to look like?
I want education to empower children to be their very best. to get their truest and highest potential in them. So whichever education we are giving the children or they should receive should be that education that brings out the very best in them, their truest and highest. Because I believe everybody has something in them that we need to see. Montessori says that the child will teach you who they are. You let them teach you who they are. Yeah, you observe them and they teach you who they are. So for education should be doing that for people so that they bring up, because everybody is carrying something. But if we put them down and we just pump, we will never know what everybody had brought, something unique to this world. So I think education should allow us to do that through giving us the right tools, giving children the right tools to express themselves, to read, like we are talking about reading. And through reading, you get to learn so much, like everything is hidden in a book. So I think education should be that thing that brings the best out of you and make you the best person that you should be.
Remember, they say even the best dancers have to leave the dancing stage.
Yeah.
It has been a big honor to host Madam Gertrude. She's a teacher trainer, and at the end of the day, we shall also share her contacts. If you need to give her business, kindly feel free. We believe that everyone has something to add on in the nation.
Yeah.
And we also thank God that at least we have people like you who are very passionate about education and majorly about reading.
Yeah.
Because some of us were the victims, we know what it feels to repeat a class.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for the great work. And also, don't forget to tell other people about your channel, because you have a channel. Can you tell?
Oh yeah, my channel is about reading. I want children to get a chance to practice the sounds that they learn. So it's about blending and reading words. It's called Crane's Learning Hub. When you find it, your children will enjoy it, and you'll also know what to teach the children and how to follow up.
Yes.
Actually, the other thing, Teacher Peter, I think we, in our curriculum usually, we don't break down those things that the children should achieve by a certain time. Like in reading, if the teachers give the parents that, in this period of time, we are going to be teaching A, B, C, D. So yes, we are teaching, so the parent is able to follow up and also hold the teachers responsible and accountable for what they promised at the beginning of the year. So some of the meetings that teachers and parents should have for collaboration is explaining to the parents what the child must learn by the end of the year, so that if a parent is to follow up and ask and follow up on the child's learning, they know where to go and what to follow.
Now this is your task and our task. We might talk about the curriculum, but we are the ones who develop the curriculum. So when it comes to reading, we have to do a lot in terms of developing it. I believe you people have workbooks. You're also now developing workbooks. But according to our workbooks, they have what a person has to follow.
Yes.
This week, the other week, up to the last week of the term.
Yeah.
They have that. But at the end of the day, ours might not be the golden bullet.
Yes.
So we need a lot. So
Yeah.
we have to get these meetings, and we call upon all the specialists and everyone who has the interest. We have worked with so many people, but everyone who has an interest in saying that we make our nation better when it comes to reading or literacy. We are going to plan for a session, and you come and we sit down. We should stop the things of working in isolation, because for me, I'm working in this organization, for me, I'm training here, I'm earning this much, now can I sit with those ones? If we really have it at heart that we want to make an impact, we, the ones who are doing this, should start having real discussions and do things in a very, I would call it a godly way, not having hidden objectives and hidden agendas. Sit down and plan for the nation instead of using a challenge as an opportunity to reap big or to get money out of it. Thank you very much. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share this video with someone. And also don't forget to subscribe to Crane Kids.
Crane's Learning Hub.
Crane's Learning Hub.
Yes.
Thank you very much for watching. I've been Teacher Peter Okware.
I'm Gertrude Katila.
May God bless you. See you then.